What up, everybody? Chad, the UFC Dad here. MMA Moneyline, here to make your picks, do the work for you so you don't have to. Hopefully, put a little bit of money in your pocket. This weekend's UFC card is Ulberg versus Reyes. They're in Australia. Should be a great card. It's about a 7 o'clock, 4 o'clock, depending where you live, start time. I believe for them it's a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon card. So that should help the local fighters over there. Anybody that's traveling there might be a little bit of a struggle. Keep that in mind with the picks. Hopefully I'm putting some money in your pocket. So we're going to jump right into it. If you don't know what I do, I choose 10 fights out of every UFC card, and I put them down. I rank them. I decide which ones I think can make us some money. And that doesn't mean just going after the dogs. It doesn't mean just picking all favorites. That means in my little system I break down, I decide who's going to win, who's going to lose, and you guys get a profit off of that. So that's the plan with this channel. Hopefully it's been working for you guys. So we're just going to jump right into it. So first fight that I'm picking on this card is Roston versus Petrosky. Petrosky is 8-3. He's a tough alum, wrestler, heavy guy. Going to bring the pressure. Not really great with his hands, but he's getting a lot better. Roston is a tall 6'3", more of a striker, a heavy fighter. He was 1-1 in the Contender Series. His one loss was to Torres Finney, where he just got out wrestled the whole time. So with that in mind, I know he's improved his wrestling, but I really think that Petrosky is going to make it pretty easy in this fight. I think he's just going to wrestle fuck him, to be honest with you, and get the decision here. So my pick, Petrosky for the first one. All right, next one we have Mike Half versus Elliott. Oban Elliott, the gangster, the Welsh gangster, is 3-1, coming off a loss to Koo. In his last one, it was a decision loss, and he is a decision merch. He did get a finish the fight before that, but if you go back and look at him, he's very wrestle, clinch, take you down, hold you down, not really looking for submissions, more like control guy. Mike Half, don't know much about him. He has a ponytail, hate that. He is 1-0 in the UFC, well-balanced guy, has been KO'd in the past, but again, in this fight, I don't think that should be an issue with Elliott. The odds are, let's see, -135 for Elliott, which is pretty low, so I think that's a pretty good winnable play for us here, so we're going to go ahead and pick Elliott in this one. All right, moving on. I don't do a lot of women's fights. Call me sexist, call me what you want. It's just hard. I'm sorry, I'm going to be blunt. Woman has a period, and we're not going to be knowing about it. It's going to affect the way she's going to fight. And God bless her, that's his life. You know, no knock on the women, but it's just if you're making bets, kind of hard to put money on something that's could affect in a fight so much, you know. And you can go back and see a lot of women fighters have talked about it. So I'm not the only one. With that said, we are doing a women fight here. I'm not MMA guru. I'm not some sexist. All right, I'll pick women's fights too. I don't mind it if they're interesting. And this one's interesting. We got Alexia Thanara, she's from Brazil, versus Luken Boom, who is from Thailand. I love Luken Boom. She is small. She is 5'1", but she has a stocky build, so that does help her out in some situations. She's, again, from Thai, so she has that Muay Thai style, very heavy with that. But surprisingly, she's improved her wrestling very much, in her grappling is pretty good. She actually has some submission wins, which is pretty cool. 7-2 also in the UFC, so she's been very active. She's been here for a while now. She's on a 4-5 win streak. She is a dog in this fight at -190. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this. Alexia, this is going to be her second fight in the UFC. She beat Molly McCann. I think Molly McCann was kind of on her way out. Try to trash talk her, try to, get in her head, didn't work. She's a BJJ heavy fighter. She's going to look for submissions. She's one of Chael Sonnen's favorite fighters right now. He has an eye on her. So one of those girls that she might do something next year or two. So keep that in mind. If Chael likes her, we like her, right? Okay. With all that said, though, I'm going Luken Boom. I think she has a little bit more experience. I think that's going to play a factor. If it goes to the ground, I also think she's going to be okay there. She's constantly improving, which I love to see. So, and hey, it's not bad to pick a dog in this one, right? +190, that's pretty good at the time of this video. So the pick here is Luken Boom. All right, moving on to the next fights. All right, we're gonna go. Don't get me! Don't attack me! Mr. Bellato versus Navajo Sterling. Sterling is currently 2-0 in the UFC. He has that new style of MMA guys that are coming up. Just really well balanced. You can't tell if he's a striker or a grappler. Very long, 6'4". You gotta like him a lot. He comes out from a good camp, City Kickboxing, so a lot of good things with that kid. Mr. Rodolfo Bellato, one of the strangest finishes I've ever seen. I think he should have been immediately kicked out of the UFC with that reaction, but Dana White's a kind of guy and actually gave him the benefit of the doubt. He came in with a 1-on-1 Dana White Contender Series record. Now roll it over to the UFC. He has one of the weirdest records I've come across. He has 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 no contest. So very, very strange. I'm not a fan of him. Any guy that reacts like that doesn't want to be in the fight. And I hate to say that again. These guys can kick my ass, but if you're in there and you're acting like that, you really don't want to be in there. In my opinion, we saw it last week with Cedric Dumas. He got kicked in the groin. Had the whole 5 minutes, gets taken on a stretcher. It's like, come on, bro. What are we doing? You have a cup on. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that shit really pisses me off. With all that said, it's not the greatest profitable, I guess, pick, but he's a minus 245 right now. Navajo Sterling, I think he gets it done again. I think that new style is going to come in and can take it standing up. He can take it to the ground. It doesn't really matter with him. Bellato, this may be his last fight in the UFC, please, hopefully. All right, so the next fight, this one should be a good one. We got the heavyweights. We have Louis Sutherland versus the Toffa boy, Justin Toffa, I believe. He is 4-5 in the UFC, so he's been quite active. I didn't really realize that until I looked over his record. A lot of power, just a typical put your head down, you're not talking right now. Start throwing some bombs. Fun style to watch. He likes to fight in the void, so he does get clipped a lot as well. Louis Sutherland making his debut. He's fought in the, I believe, PFL. He did pretty well over there. 1-1 record. I think the one fight that he lost, he should have won. Anyways, he's just a fun fighter to watch. I mean, his build is just no neck, big guy. Comes at you, a lot of power. He has KO power. He can take the fight to the ground and just kind of maul you. I like him a lot here. He is an underdog, so here's another underdog bet. Hope he can get it in before everybody realizes what kind of an animal he is. So yeah, the pick here is Louis Sutherland to do his thing. We're moving on. Here we go. We got another local on the card. Tom Nolan versus Charlie Campbell. Campbell is 2-0. The power punch, a very tough guy. He's one of those New York guys. I just had his name, Ray Longo guy. He's a Ray Longo fighter. Very good, just tough guy, typical Ray Longo fighter. Tom Nolan, he is 3-1 in the UFC. Very tall guy. He's 6'3". He's been KO'd though. That's one thing at that weight class, 155. Once you get over kind of 6 foot, I just feel your chin's a little bit higher in the air, and it's a little bit easier for those smaller guys to come over with those power punches and just really clip you. So something he's hopefully worked on. Looking at the people he's beat, not very impressed by. Looking at the people Charlie Campbell's beat, not very impressed by. He should have beat all those guys. With that all said, I think this is a fork in the road for both these guys. Could go left, could go right. Again, I'm leaning towards Charlie Campbell here. Tom Nolan can make it look easy, but I like Charlie Campbell a lot in this fight, so I'm going to go Charlie Campbell to get it done. Moving on, 2 vets, 2 guys that have been in the UFC forever. Talk about long records. Neil Magny versus Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews is 15-7 in the UFC. Get this, Neil Magny, 23-12. That's mind-boggling, dude, to have that many fights in the UFC. Magny is coming off a win. The constant gatekeeper. This is I guess another gatekeeper fight. Matthews a vet, but he's coming on strong. He has a 3-0 record right now in his last 3 fights. I don't know if that's a whole changing his religion to being a Muslim. whatever it is, it's working for him. It should be a good fight. I think Matthews gets a sub here. You know, Magny doesn't really get sub, but I think Matthews is that good on the ground. He could pull off the sub here. So minus 500, I don't love it. If you went with Magny, I totally understand, but my pick here is Matthews. All right, next one, Jimmy Crute versus Urslan. Urslan, 0-2 in the UFC. He is a KSW fighter out of Croatia. He kind of stands there and wants to bang. He's a tough guy, but I don't know if he's UFC caliber. We're going to find out this fight, right? Jimmy Crute, very tough guy. He's a sub master. You know, he's going to try to get to the ground and get a finish. He's always looking to get a sub. Very tough. Doesn't really have a lot of quit in him. He won his last fight, so he's back on track here. I like Jimmy Crute a lot. If we can get him at this number right now, it's at minus 185. Cash it in because I think it's a very good play here. I think it's a pretty winnable fight for him. So take here is Jimmy Crute. All right, moving on to the co-main event, we have Roman Tavares versus Jack Jenkins. Jenkins, another local. He is 3-2 in the UFC Contender Series vet. He lost his last fight. He had a really nasty a few fights ago. I think it was a leg break against Cheppy Mersikel. So he came back, won that fight when he returned, and then he lost his last fight. He's looking to rebound again. He started his UFC career really good, a lot of promise, and he was 2-0. But he got that leg break. Tough guy, not very explosive, not anything else besides it's a tough, well-rounded fighter. Roman Tavares, striker heavy, he's 1-1 in the UFC, another Contender Series vet. He got 2 fights over there. He's going to try to stand and bang. I don't think he's going to be really good on the ground, so I think that's where Jack takes the advantage here. We got Jack Jenkins minus 300 right now. Not the greatest number, but I would definitely hammer it. So Jack Jenkins for the pick here. All right, we finally made it, boys and ladies, maybe. Reyes Ulberg. It's going to be a good one as long as it lasts. Reyes is coming on another, kind of like Matthews, one of these late career surges I love to see as an older guy. Gives me a little hope. 3-0 in his last couple fights. Kind of been mid-level guys, though, not the highest level. If you go back and check it out. All finishes, though, which you love to see. He's not really gun shy. He's getting in there. He's getting it done. Ulberg, he's 8-0 in his last 8 fights. 5 of those have been finishes. They've all been pretty high-level competition. I mean, the guy he's pretty much total package. He's big, he's strong, athletic. We haven't seen him on the ground yet, so maybe Reyes takes it there, but Reyes isn't a big ground guy either. So I just see this more as a stand-up, and I think the athleticism of Ulberg gets it done here. Again, being at home helps, not having to travel for Reyes and, all of that other stuff that comes with that. So pick here is Ulberg to get it done. We got 10 picks for you guys right there. I'm going to run through them one more time. We got Ulberg, we got Jenkins, we got Crute, we got Matthews, we got Campbell, Sutherland, Sterling. We have Lukenboom. We have Lukenboom, Elliott, and Petrosky. So that's all 10 picks right there. Hopefully get some winners out of it. Again, the goal is to go over 60% for you guys, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job of that. So stay with me, guys. All right. That's the show. MMA Moneyline gonna have Dana White Contender Series cards coming up. Got a couple more of those, so stay tuned. Peace.